COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack. Hey, coronavirus, I want my life back.
Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. It doesn't have the same ring to it as it used to, right? It seems every day is a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday. I could not start with clanging the pots out the window. Just there's a little technical thing I had to do for tonight's show, so I'm not able to maneuver the camera around. Ethel, hello to you. Good evening, Kevin and Parker. Hope you're having a great day from Shelburne. And Lisa also saying hi to Kevin and Parker. Everyone's remembering Parker. It's nice to see. Good evening, Kevin and Parker. Here's Lori. Okay, we are going to have, I think, an interesting conversation today because I really want to look ahead now because we're hearing more and more rumblings of the end of isolation. And yes, we've heard all sorts of dates. We've heard everything from May the 1st to May the 14th to June the 1st, where some of the isolation will or most likely be relaxed. And there's literally fighting going on right now, trying to get it done sooner and probably less safe. So let everybody else argue about that. I want to talk about what good has come out of isolation. And we've talked about it many times before on this program. So, the good things, the kind of thing where you're going to the grocery store and someone smiles and nods at you because it's that kind of, hey, we're in this together, or your siblings are getting along with you, or your kids are actually getting along and doing stuff, and you're eating better because you have time to cook. You're sleeping more. You're sleeping in. You're more rested. You're getting things done around the house. So we're now about to go into a post-isolation world. Who knows when? And here's a good point. Yeah, Wesley, you're right. The air is literally cleaner. So we're the rivers are cleaner. So we are going into that world, but I really want to take some of this world with us. I kind of am enjoying the lazier attitude. I'm kind of enjoying that people, neighbors, helping neighbors without even being asked, trying to do good things, trying to do things. Yeah, I know we have a lot of anxiety and stress over isolation, but there are a lot of people out there who are discovering family time. Pets are getting walked a lot more, I'll tell you that. So to talk about this, I've brought on a guest, and that's technically, she's going to be joining us through FaceTime. So let me bring that up. And this is Patricia Rockman, co-founder of the Center for Mindfulness Studies. It's Director of Education and Clinical Services, family physician with a focus on mental health, an associate professor with the University of Toronto's Department of Family and Community Medicine. Hi, Patricia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. Now, I have actually used the services of the Center for Mindfulness, and it really is a pretty amazing space. Tell me a little bit about it.
The Center for Mindfulness Studies has been around since 2011, and we offer mindfulness-based programs for people with depression, anxiety, stress reduction, and for stress reduction. And we also do professional training, as well as we run a community program to help provide mental health services for those with affordability and access issues.
Now, we should point out, yes, you're in a vehicle, but you're not driving. So
I'm not driving.
We will assure people of that. So you and your husband are just coming back from a trip up north to get some business done.
Yes, he's driving.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, let's talk a little bit about a post-isolation world. It has been a very stressful and anxious time, but there have been some good things that have happened as well. Can we really continue on with any of the good habits we've gotten into? And if we do, how do we do that?
I mean, it's a really good question. I mean, how do we know? We've never been in this situation before, right? So we don't really know what's to come. But I think that some of the things you were talking about in the beginning of the show. And I mean, there's no question that this self-isolation has some incredibly difficult aspects to it, and particularly for people who are alone a lot, this is very difficult, or if you're with people you don't want to be with. But in terms of the upsides, I think one of the things that we might be able to take with us is, if we're able, is this ability to slow down and to really kind of pay more attention to what we're doing, and perhaps to be more intentional about it, because you were talking about this also at the beginning, about this, the slowing down, and slowing down is so important for taking in so many aspects of life that we usually miss, right? When we're rushing around to work and back again and taking care of the kids and so on, whatever it is that we're doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, particularly in the way we tend to live in North America.
It's interesting. Something you said caught my attention because I was trying to remember. I remember my time at your center, and that was slowing down, to be in the moment. So, right. If any time has been good for mindfulness, this has probably been one of the best times.
Yeah, I mean, some of it has to do with the attitude that we come into the situation with, right? Because it is difficult and nobody wants it. So when I think we are able to accept things as they are, that this is how it is, and for however long it's going to be, then my husband and I were talking about this because we go on this very early morning walk when no one is around, and one of the things that we talked about was cultivating this ability to let go, to be able to let go of wanting things to be other than they are, to let go of, the fact that I don't like it, that I can't do the things that I did before. And when that happens, all of a sudden there's, some more ease, and we have more possibility about what we actually do take in any given moment. So this idea of what does it mean to actually be in the present moment, like to be where you are, and to try to see things as they are versus how we might like them to be or don't want them to be.
Now, I want to get some tips on how we can mindfully go into a post-isolation world. But you know what the horrible thing about TV shows is they have commercials, and we're going to do a commercial right now. So we're going to do that after the break. But the good thing about these commercials is I'm doing them for free because I really want people to know about all the businesses that are still operating, because they need us to support them and patronize them. And so we do it here in something that I call the Business Bump. So let's go to our first Biz Bump for today. Green and Frugal in Scarborough, it's the natural general store with body care, aromatherapy, and household cleaning products, all made the natural way. Free delivery to some parts of the GTA with orders over $35. You can call for curbside service at 416-890-4270. Green and Frugal, 2432 Kingston Road, in the heart of Cliffside Village. It would take a lot more than isolation to close this place down, because the Rosso General Store in Cottage Country has only been operating since 1874, and they are still open for business. I was talking to Lori there this afternoon, and she tells me that most people are just emailing her, and then she leaves their orders out front for curb pickup. So her email is lori@rossogeneralstore.ca. Rosso General Store, 1 Rice Street in Rosso. All right, commercials are all over, Patricia. Now back to the program. Okay, so now I the first couple of days after isolation, we're going to be euphoric. We're going to be, oh, great, I'm out, I'm seeing people, I'm talking to people. But how can we make sure that we have that time for dinner and that we have that time for family?
Well, some of it is related, can we cultivate a particular kind of intention, right? So, and can we bring, awareness to that intention so that it's more deliberate versus automatic? And one of the things I was thinking about before you broke for the commercial, when you asked, there are very brief practices that we teach people to do, and that we try to cultivate to kind of get ourselves to stop and take a step back so that we can really have some choice about what we do. So, and if we want to really try to, as you say, bring some of this, a different way of being in relation to our lives. So there's a stop practice, which many people know, and the stop practice, that's the acronym. So
okay.
When you have, you can do it just as a regular kind of portable practice. You just simply stop, take a breath, observe what's going on, and then proceed. So this is a very quick practice. It's kind of a very quick check-in if you want to just on a regular basis just check in with where you are. So this is one practice. Another one is the 3-minute breathing space. We don't have to do it for 3 minutes if you want me to.
Well, what is it? What is the 3-minute breathing space?
So the 3-minute breathing space is a regular check-in, which helps you to cultivate mindful attention so that you can see what's going on both internally and externally in your internal and external environment. And then you're able to, a lot of mindfulness is about being able to take a step back from your reactivity, so that you can approach things in a different way. So what we would do, normally we do this as a formal practice, but you don't have to. You could do it really walking down the street. So if we're doing it formally.
All right, I'll tell you what. I have a bit of freedom here. Can you lead us through a 3-minute?
Yeah.
What did you call it? A 3-minute breathing
space.
A 3-minute breathing space.
Breathing space, which is what people do.
Okay. All right. Could you lead us through it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay. So coming into a comfortable position, if that's available, sitting with a posture that's alert but not stiff, and closing the eyes if that's comfortable. And then checking in with what's here in current experience, what's here in thinking, what thoughts are around, what emotions, if any, and what body sensations. Taking a moment to get a handle on your internal landscape, whatever it is. Getting a sense of what's going on right now, whether it's wanted or unwanted. And then shifting the attention now, narrowing it to the physical sensations of breathing at the abdomen, to the rising and falling of the belly with each in-breath and out-breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then widening the attention now around the breath to any and all sensations inside the body and at the surface of the skin. Bringing a kind of spaciousness to experience if this is possible. To whatever is showing in the body. And then when you're ready, letting go of this practice. And as best you can, bringing this kind of wider attention into your next moments. Opening the eyes and moving the body in any way that's needed.
Huh. Okay. What did we just do? What just happened?
So what did you notice from that?
Um, I stopped thinking about what I was about to do next a lot.
Right.
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a bit of a it's kind of, I mean, it's not an ideal setting, right, for any sort
No.
of meditation. However, yeah, I mean, it was something that was a little cleansing, it was very comfortable.
So what you just sort of pointed to is that you kind of disrupted, all of the busyness or the planning mind, the things that you're focused on that you have to do in each next moment ahead, right? And so it allows us to really stop, to check in, to take a step back from our busyness. And, this then allows us a bit of space. And there are many uses for this practice, which I think, well, you might ask your viewers how they might use a practice like this, for example,
Okay, so, some of the viewers are already piping up. Someone said they became more grounded. It definitely was relaxing. I can see me having anxiety at first when we start going out. So I mean, that's another thing that we'll need to address, right? Someone was just saying that, but Paula was just saying very calming. So even that little 3 minutes, could you imagine if you did that every day?
Well, when we teach it, we teach people to do it 3 times a day. In fact, if people want to, not to plug the center, but
No, please plug it, by all means.
So the Center for Mindfulness Studies has a YouTube channel, and we have the 3-minute breathing space there. So if people wanted to practice it and be guided through it, they can go on the YouTube channel and they can just listen to it. So and that's what we ask people to do when they first start learning. We ask them to practice it regularly 3 times a day, but it's really portable. Obviously, it doesn't have to be 3 minutes. You can do it for 30 seconds. And what somebody said about anxiety, it's true. Like, it allows you to really check in with what's there, and you start to be able to be with experience in a different way. So sometimes when people are anxious, they might do things, that are not necessarily that helpful or healthy, or, regardless, whatever state you're in. And so it just allows you a reset. It allows you to check in. It allows you to make perhaps some more conscious decision about what you do next.
All right. And I don't mind you plugging that place at all, because, like I say, I have actually used the services there, and it is fantastic. And you're with a lot of like-minded individuals as well. It really is fantastic. That is when you can gather together, but we can't do any gatherings. But I guess you're doing a lot of work online right now.
Everything is online now, and we're doing a pay what you can series, and we have videos on our Facebook page, and so there's and we have a lot of resources that we're making available to people as well. So,
okay, yeah. Someone had mentioned something about being anxious as soon as they go out. I never thought about that.
Yeah, so no, I think that makes a lot of sense, and that's in the COVID world. Never mind the post-COVID world,
Yeah.
And I think that this is an important thing to pay attention to, because we're getting so kind of domestic, right, at this time, where we're in our houses all the time, and this is a really safe space for many people, not for everyone. And I think that's worth paying attention to. You want to know what your state is, because if you don't know what your state is, you don't really have a lot of options about what you do next, right? And often when we're anxious, we tend to either avoid, distract, or control. And these things are very powerful in the short term, but they don't work in the long term. They're really limiting. So this idea of being anxious when you go out, then, you want to kind of titrate slowly, and you want to really pay attention, and you want to work with the breath, and you want to do things like the 3-minute breathing space.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about uncertainty, controlling what you can control, and all that. But guess what? Time for another commercial.
Okay.
All right, Park, let's do let's do that one. St. James Gate Irish Pub let me know that starting today they're offering curbside service. It's as easy as going to their website, sjgtoronto.com. Then you click on the takeout tab. As soon as you arrive, you call 647-350-5140, and they will run the order out to your vehicle. Check them out, St. James Gate Irish Pub, 5140 Dundas Street West. That is out near the 6 Points in Etobicoke. Certified Emergency Training have had to postpone their in-person first aid and CPR courses, so they have developed an online version that they've just put online. You can learn what to do in an emergency from the comfort of your own home. Learn how to identify and treat emergencies properly. www.cert.ca or call 416-916-CERT. That's 416-916-2378. All kinds of businesses right now that are still operating, Patricia. And what about for those who are working out in these businesses and they come home? You know, they haven't had the luxury of being able to sleep in or anything like that, like other people have. So they aren't getting the benefits of isolation. So what can we do for someone who is this? Things are doubly anxious for them right now. They're not getting the rest. Yeah. So what can we do for them?
Well, one thing I think I was thinking, movement, exercise, and movement is, I think, super important during this period. One of the things that my husband and I have been doing, and I think, it means that, of course, you have to be up early, or not necessarily, it depends on your schedule, but, we're really making it a practice to go for an early walk and to do some yoga during the day and to do a 20-minute sit, because a meditation practice, because we're both finding that it really helps us to be able to, regulate our state, we're able to kind of stabilize our mood, stabilize our attention. And I think that, so one thing for people who are, really busy in the world still, and they may be also quite anxious, is often, a lot of movement practice, some kind of exercise can be super useful for helping that kind of hyper arousal,
Okay.
And then the same thing, though, these brief practices, these brief breath practices, you can do them anywhere, and you can do them multiple times a day.
Definitely. In fact, I have an idea. Would you come back in a few days and maybe help us understand meditation better? I think there is always one of the problems with meditation is sometimes we get frustrated with ourselves.
Yes.
And so maybe if you could help us deal with that. Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, of course.
All right. That sounds wonderful. Well, Patricia, I can't thank you enough for doing this. Give the center a plug again. I was supposed to put down the website, and mindfulnessstudies.com.
That's right.
Is the website, mindfulnessstudies.com, and then go to the YouTube channel. What do you have there on the YouTube channel?
Oh, we have a bunch of different practices. We have a movement practice. We have the 3-minute breathing space. We have a bunch of different practices, and on the website itself, we have some practice meditations that are available to the public. And really, if people are interested, we have this Pay What You Can series that runs Tuesdays from 12:30 to 1:30 that I'm running. The last one's next week, and then we're going to have a break for 2 weeks, and then we'll be running it again. So that'll be also available for people, and there's a lot of short practices on that,
All
too.
right. So that's mindfulnessstudies.com. Patricia Rockman, the co-founder of the Center for Mindfulness Studies. Thank you very much, and it looks like you might be home already.
We're home.
All right. Thank you, and thank you to your husband for getting you there safely.
Okay, thanks so much for having me.
All right, we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, you take care of yourself and be safe.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye now.
Bye. Talking to Patricia Rockman, co-founder of the Center for Mindfulness Studies, and we'll do some meditation in the next little bit. Let's get to some of your comments now. Now, Ruth is saying movement is essential for sure, and we're not doing nearly as much as we used to, right? We have a whole different world ahead of us right now. We don't know what's going on, and that's going to add to the anxiety. So we need to help shape our world after this. And we need to somehow take any good feelings that have been garnered, by this isolation, by people helping each other. And we need to carry that with us somehow and remind people of that afterwards. It would be really nice to be in a world where someone just drops scones off on your porch, wouldn't it? That would be wonderful. So it's going to be a time of change. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. So until then, you need to be mindful. Learn how to be mindful. Don't forget these numbers off to the side that I've been running here. If you are in crisis, you don't have to isolate in crisis. If you feel as though someone is going to hurt you or you're being hurt, and that's physically and emotionally, if you feel you're going to hurt yourself, then call one of these numbers. There are people there who are trained to talk with you and to help you out, and in some cases, get you out of there. It's all part of us taking care of ourselves, right? Because we have to take care of ourselves. And where's Parker tonight? He's over there. He's over there. Because of that way that we were doing FaceTime there, it was a whole different setup. By the way, my good friend Winston C. is going to be here on Sunday evening. He is going to be talking about, you know how hard it is to try and get a slot when you're trying to get groceries online? Sometimes you have to order weeks in advance. He has some little tricks. And he has some places that maybe you haven't thought about to order groceries from. So that's coming up on Sunday. Then Monday, we have our sleep expert. Alana is back. You've been asking for her back. She is coming back. And she's going to help us with falling asleep, staying asleep, getting a good sleep, and what to do if you wake up early or too early. Hold on, and I want to make sure I get this one because this was the Center for Mindfulness Studies that chimed in here. So there is the address for you, mindfulnessstudies.com. It's in the comments now, so you can click right on that. Let's put it back up there again. And I want to thank them for all they do as well. So yes, Winston will be here on Sunday, and Alana, our sleep expert, will be here on Monday, and we will have Patricia back at some point to talk about proper meditation and how you shouldn't get frustrated. It's okay if your mind wanders, and she's going to tell you why it's okay if your mind wanders. The trick is, how do you bring it back? So I will be back again tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, but I am going to be there was something else I wanted to ask you, and I can't remember what it was. But you know what? I'm always taking suggestions. I'm always taking your suggestions. Let me put up my email address. There we go. First aid for your mental health at gmail.com. Let me just move that. First aid for your mental health at gmail.com. I would like to know what you'd like to see on the show. What are things that would help keep you positive, that would help you out in this time of isolation? So I look forward to hearing from you. You can even talk to me on Messenger on my Facebook page. So thank you very much for spending another evening with me. This was episode 28, I think. Holy cow. So until tomorrow night, okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? Until tomorrow night, take care of yourself and take care of each other.
COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack.